From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Well, good morning to you, and thank you so much for being here on this Tuesday, January 20th.
Let's open up the windows and start a brand new day together.
Hey, there's a guy right there. He can't breathe, and he's bouncing from. He had two windows in his in that corner. They ended up bringing a ladder right up to his window and got him out.
An Oakland fire sends neighbors running. Hear from a man who happened to be in the right place at the right time.
I don't think any president has had a better first year than we've had.
1 year in, President Trump giving himself high marks despite polls showing he's very unpopular. We have new CBS polling to see what the voter says.
So he attempted it and he made it.
A coyote's cold swim from shore to Alcatraz caught on camera. The viral video and why this is not the first time we've seen a coyote dog paddle. And live like royalty this Travel Tuesday. We'll take you to get cozy in a castle.
All right, let's take a look outside on this beautiful, chilly morning here in the Bay Area. A couple of things that happened last night. The northern lights were visible for some of us, and if you got to see them, it was gorgeous. We were talking about 30s and 40s into those overnight lows. We're still sitting in the 30s right now in places like Livermore, all the way up into Napa, sitting at 42 degrees there, 50s along the coast as we wake up and head out the door this morning. Another morning of that stubborn Tule fog from the Sacramento Valley making its way all the way into the Delta and the Carquinas as we wake up this morning. As that's the case, we're continuing to see low visibility right now. So I just want you to be extra careful out there on the roads, especially if you live closer to Vallejo or along that highway all the way into the Sacramento Valley too. Daytime highs today, a little bit cooler compared to yesterday. We're talking about low 60s now down into the Santa Clara Valley near San Jose. Upper 50s in some of the North Bay areas and places like Napa, Petaluma, and Novato. You pass the Golden Gate Bridge back down into San Francisco. It's a little bit cooler for us today there, too. I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit. Back to you, Gianna.
Jessica, thank you. Well, the lights are back on in San Francisco's Richmond and Sunset districts. PG&E shut off power to customers for a second straight night to complete repairs from a citywide blackout in late December. Well, the brief outage hitting thousands of customers already frustrated by massive outages last month. Veronica Macias live in the Sunset with the latest. Good morning, Veronica.
Good morning. Here along Irving, we're at Uncle Benny's. You would never know that there was a power shut off overnight because all the lights are on here along Irving. Here at Uncle Benny's, they are busy serving donuts. And, you know, the owner right now, she tells me I'm a little too busy to talk. She's back there working and also helping the customers up front. But this time around, she's thankful that this power shutoff was only about 15 minutes, she said, and she was really prepared this time around. She has a generator over on the corner over here because she was afraid there might be a moving timeline with PG&E. You know, the last time they did not have power, they were out of business for a total of 2 days. And she says that they really took a big hit, but she's thankful to hear that they're trying to fix the problem with that PG&E substation over on Mission Street that caused this entire problem back in December. It led to a huge blackout last month across the city. A third of the city was in the dark. Now, this planned outage, that started at midnight, and it affected about 14,000 customers in the Richmond district and along Irving Street here in the Sunset, a portion of the Sunset district between 19th and 27th Avenues, just south of Lincoln Way. Businesses impacted here. Well, it was expected to last for about 2 hours. Thankfully, businesses here like Uncle Benny's telling me they only were impacted about 15 minutes. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to go over to the Richmond district. And we also know that a lawsuit from businesses is in the works right now after they claim losing thousands of dollars back in December when a lot of their food just spoiled and they couldn't serve their customers for about 2 days like Uncle Benny's here. Gianna?
All right, Veronica, thank you. Good to see the lights are back on and that they're busy this morning. Thanks for that report, Veronica. 4 people injured and dozens evacuated in a massive fire that took over an Oakland apartment building. We first reported this as breaking news early yesterday. The fire forcing dozens to evacuate the 5-story building near 19th and Broadway. One woman we spoke to described the moment she realized something was very wrong.
I opened my front door and it was just, the hallway was black and full of smoke. And I was like, well, that's not good. So I had to call 911 and tell them what unit I was in.
More than 60 firefighters rushed in to battle the flames around 7 a.m. The building is now red tagged. 3 people were treated for smoke inhalation and 1 firefighter had a minor injury. But it wasn't just firefighters helping out. A Good Samaritan working nearby heard cries from the 3rd floor and stepped in. Josh Brannigan grabbed his own extension ladder to help people get out safely.
Well, no one knew how to open it, so I had an extension ladder. I carried it over there, climbed up the extension ladder, and then lowered their fire emergency ladder. You can help. Like, I was just trying to do my best, trying to save people if I could.
Well, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. For now, the city and the Red Cross opened a nearby shelter at the Willie Keys Recreation Center on Union Street. It's offering legal aid, pet care, and relocation support.
Moving around the Bay Area for headlines where you live, elected officials in Marin County say they need federal money to help recoup some of the costs from this month's historic flooding. Today, the Marin County Board of Supervisors are expected to approve an emergency declaration. So doing that allows the county to then apply for federal emergency management or FEMA funds. The county estimates about $3.5 million in damages from this month's king tides and storms. Moving on the map now to Richmond. In the wake of a scandal involving accusations, Mayor Eduardo Martinez engaged in anti-Semitic social media posts. City leaders today will vote on whether to censure Mr. Martinez. The Jewish Community Relations Council, for their part, want the mayor to step down. Now, if he only gets a censure by his peers, Martinez will receive anti-Semitism training and have educational meetings with members of the Jewish community. This is, of course, after Martinez reshared conspiracy theories about last month's deadly Hanukkah attack at Bondi Beach in Australia. He later apologized. Martinez's supporters plan to rally outside City Hall, saying the criticism is really about Mr. Martinez's pro-Palestinian views. Moving on the map now to Contra Costa County this morning, some money moves meant to patch funding holes caused by President Trump's cut to federal funds. To patch the holes, local leaders weigh raising your sales tax. So to get that done, there are some hurdles. First, the idea has to pass with county supervisors. Then the state has to sign off. If the state supports the move, the measure will then go to the June ballot for you to make the decision. Here are the numbers. If the measure goes forward, you'll pay a sales tax increase of about 0.5%, maybe up to 0.6%. Those for the plan say doing that would bring in as much as $150 million a year. Today marks 1 year since President Donald Trump began term number 2 in the White House. It's been a headline-heavy year, the president making a lot of waves on tariffs, foreign affairs, and also immigration actions in many communities across the country. Here's the president looking back, giving himself a grade for the first year.
I don't think any president has had a better first year than we've had in terms of success. We brought prices down, we have very little inflation, we have a great economy, and the prices are coming down still further. But I inherited a mess, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
However, a new CBS poll shows voters responded a little differently than that. Let's get into those numbers. 74% say that the president is not focusing enough on lowering prices, affordability. 54% told us that they are uneasy about the Trump presidency. 51% say they're frustrated with the president. 47% say they actually feel unsafe with Donald Trump as president. So let's talk about who feels confident. 25% of respondents say they feel confident in the president's job, and 21% say they feel satisfied with the job President Trump has done. 21% there. The president also has an uphill battle as he meets frustrated world leaders in Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. Mr. Trump leaves tonight knowing European leaders are angry and getting organized against his push to purchase Greenland, while also at the same time threatening tariffs on any nation who opposes him. Here at home, lawyers with the city of San Francisco and the state of California continue suing the president over his cuts to federal funding affecting you, the Californian. 14 lawsuits filed by the city of San Francisco alone, 52 lawsuits and counting filed by the state of California. Also today, protests expected marking the president's first year in office for term number 2. The Free America Walkout asks workers to leave their jobs in protest at 2 p.m. The Free America Walkout is organized by Women's March. You might recognize that name. They led the Women's March on Washington during President Trump's first term. Protests also happening all around the Bay. The group Bay Resistance will lead a rally at Civic Center Plaza starting at 4 p.m. Over in the East Bay and Oakland, demonstrators with Indivisible East Bay will gather at Dimond Park and then walk to Fruitvale and MacArthur for a protest. In the Castro Valley, Indivisible Tri-Valley and other local groups will rally at Castro Valley Boulevard and Redwood Road, and then they'll march over to Representative Eric Swalwell's office.
All right, well, tough news for Warriors fans. ESPN is now reporting that Jimmy Butler tore his ACL during last night's game against the Heat. Butler landing awkwardly on the court in the third quarter, holding his knee, his right knee right there in pain. You saw that. He's set to miss the rest of the season, really at a time when the Warriors were just starting to, get in their groove, find their rhythm again. The Dubs are expected to release the official diagnosis later today. Butler was averaging 20 points and nearly 6 rebounds so far this season. Well, the Niners also making headlines last night. Robert Saleh is finalizing an agreement to become the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans. It was only a matter of time before the Niners defensive coordinator was going to get another shot. If you recall, he was the Jets head coach for 3 seasons. Saleh was a major contributor to the Niners' success this season, balancing injuries and finding the right replacements. Meanwhile, fans may still be reeling after the 49ers lost to the Seahawks on Saturday night, but the season isn't over for Levi Stadium as preparations are underway for the site of Super Bowl 60. That's just a few weeks away. Kelsey Thorud caught up with Niners fans trying to get some autographs before players start their offseason plans.
As the Niners wrapped up their season and headed out of Levi's Stadium, Landon Key and a handful of other dedicated fans lined the sidewalk hoping to see their favorite players one final time.
I'm here to support my team. Always got to come out here, always got to show love.
Landon, like so many, was heartbroken to see the Niners fall to the Seahawks in the divisional round. Still, he told me he was proud of the season his team put together.
Shout out to Kyle Shanahan, amazing coaching, and all of our backups coming in and doing the job.
Several of the players stopped and signed autographs for Landon and some of the other fans waiting. One woman drove all the way from Sacramento so her friends visiting from Mexico could have a chance to see some of their favorite players.
So it kind of pumps you up too, you get excited for to see the fans enjoy, and I'm just kind of tagging along for the experience.
Of course, this season isn't over for Levi Stadium. The area is already being transformed for Super Bowl 60, and while it's a little bittersweet for Niners fans, some told me they're still excited to have it here in the Bay Area, just depending on which teams make it.
I would really like to see the Broncos because my mom has a friend who likes the Broncos, and I'd really hate to see the Seahawks make it.
And even though the Niners won't be in the big game this year, Landon is proud of his team and hopeful they'll be back in it soon enough.
Yeah, it is kind of bittersweet. It would have been nice if the Niners could have played at home in the Super Bowl, but it is what it is. That's how football works, and it's just great how everybody comes out here and supports.
Time right now, 6:12. Good morning, everybody. As President Trump threatens to use tariffs to take Greenland, Governor Gavin Newsom weighing in on the European leaders Mr. Trump will face at meetings in Switzerland.
They've been played. This guy's playing folks for fools, and it's embarrassing.
Mr. Newsom involving himself in an international fight once again, queuing up the question, is he running for president? That's ahead. Welcome back, everybody. We're watching live video from our many monitors streaming headlines from all across the globe. So, marking his first year in office for his second term, President Donald Trump heads to the World Economic Forum in Davos later today. He is expected to get a chilly reception from European leaders over his push to use tariffs to try and force the sale of Greenland to the United States. The president promising sit-down meetings with leaders while also saying he still won't rule out using the U.S. military to get Greenland. He says it's a matter of national security. Well, boosting speculation he wants to run for president, Governor Gavin Newsom is already in Davos. Speaking with reporters, Newsom did not mince words about what he calls capitulation to President Trump by world leaders.
I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. Handing out crowns and this is pathetic. Nobel Prizes that are being given away. It's just pathetic. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. At least from an American perspective, it's embarrassing.
Newsom went on to call for the European leaders to stand tall and united against President Trump. He will address world leaders on Thursday. After a group of Democratic lawmakers sued to conduct oversight visits to federal immigration detention facilities, a federal judge in Washington, D.C. ruled The Department of Homeland Security can continue requiring 7 days notice before lawmakers go inside to tour immigration detention compounds. Now, this case was not decided on its merits, though. The judge ruled lawyers used the wrong procedural vehicle to challenge the policy, which means that lawmakers could take a different approach to try to get faster access for inspections into the conditions that detainees face. Gianna.
Now taking a live look outside on this Tuesday morning as you get ready to start your day. And there is a view of part of San Francisco. You see Salesforce there. Jessica, along the coast yesterday, it was beautiful. Lots of people enjoying the day off and the beach.
The beach was beautiful yesterday. Not a beach hazard statement in sight. I mean, the water was nice and the weather was warm, but here's the reality. I mean, it's morning, so inevitably it's cold, but we're sitting in the 50s right now over into Half Moon Bay, 40s and 30s widespread throughout our inland areas as we wake up this morning and head out the door. The Tule fog still very stubborn just along the Carquinez Strait, making its way into the Delta, bringing us some low visibility for some of our East Bay communities this morning, stretched all the way over into Vallejo too. But here's our daytime highs today. Yesterday, we were in the upper 60s, close to the 70s, all the way over into our coastal communities. Today, we're back down to the low 60s with cloudier skies in the forecast for us, widespread throughout the Bay, actually. We were also in the upper 60s, close to the 70s, down into the Santa Clara Valley. That's not necessarily the case today near San Jose. Now sitting at 63 degrees as we head outside this afternoon with plenty of upper 50s widespread throughout wine country, anywhere from Napa over into Novato, and past the Golden Gate Bridge all the way down into San Francisco too. But let's talk about some other things. It's still not a beach day for us today. It's just a little bit cooler compared to yesterday. So any outdoor activities that you have scheduled or planned, it might be a little bit chillier. And of course, too, when we factor in the winds pushing offshore, we can see gusts today anywhere up to around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Might feel a little bit cooler along those coastal communities too. Today, the air quality for the most part still in that moderate category, forecasted from the North Bay down into the South Central Bay. You make your way down into the Santa Clara Valley and off into some of our East Bay valleys too. It's a little bit worse in those communities, so we're continuing to monitor that closely. Now, diving into the rest of this week, we're continuing to see cloudy skies, dry conditions, but still cloudy conditions as we head into our midweek forecast and heading into this weekend as a cutoff low, meaning this area of low pressure sweeps its way down to Southern California. As that happens, they're going to get a little splash of showers, but we're just getting the leftover clouds really here in the Bay. We're going to notice that till Friday. Saturday, we'll see some sunnier skies to kick off this weekend's forecast. And at that point, we're kind of just flirting back and forth with upper 50s and lower 60s. So a very mild forecast for us this week here in the Bay Area. Gianna?
Jessica, thank you. Let's go out and get a live look at some of our freeways. Bay Bridge, Toll Plaza, metering lights are on. And look at that backup already for folks working their way into San Francisco this morning. Your slowest approach is coming off the East Shore Freeway. So westbound 80 starting to get a little crowded out of Berkeley and Emeryville. Taking a look at traffic elsewhere, not too bad if you are headed out of that area near 680 in San Ramon, Concord, Walnut Creek. North of there, 780 all clear. No delays through Benicia. That ride into the Altamont Pass is getting busy, but that is business as usual. Taking a quick look here at 880 near Paseo Grande, you can see a quick snapshot there, a little crowded out of Hayward. So keep that in mind if you're headed towards the San Mateo Bridge. That's a look at your morning commute. Time right now is 6:20. A viral video showing a coyote taking a swim to Alcatraz. Hear from an expert saying just how rare it is.
Here's a live look outside before we head to break. Good morning, Bay Area. We're grateful you're with us. It's 6:21. We'll be right back. Did you do your cold plunge this morning? Well, maybe you need a coyote to lead you in that. Let's talk about that cold coyote swim in the Bay, caught on camera. Likely it's all over your social media feed this morning.
I already got the chills and goosebumps. It's so cold in that water. Well, check this video out. This is the coyote swimming to Alcatraz. It's going viral, and it's apparently the very first time anyone's documented a coyote making its way to the rock. Our Amanda Harry heard from an expert about why it may have ended up there.
And we have people who
Video of a lone coyote swimming in the bay, its head bobbling above the water as it makes its way to Alcatraz Island.
Astonished, of course.
A friend sent Janet Kessler the video. She's a self-taught naturalist who has been documenting coyote behavior in San Francisco for about 20 years. In that time, she's never seen a video like this one. He crawls out of the water and struggles to get his footing once on the rocks.
He can barely make it. He is depleted. He is shivering. He is cold.
Coyotes can be found on nearby Angel Island. This is a video from August of one swimming around the island. But this is the first time One has been documented on Alcatraz. The coyote likely swam over a mile to get there. Kessler believes the animal may have felt interspecies population pressure in the city, and it needed to find new territory.
This one probably was pushed around by other territorial owners and decided that he could make this trip. So he attempted it and he made it.
It's still unknown if he survived the first night on the island, but she thinks he had the resources to do so.
There are banana slugs, there are rats, there are mice, there are birds. There's plenty for him to eat. And although there's no running water, there has been a lot of rain, and so there are big puddles lying around. So in that sense, he would be able to make it.
A man who works on Alcatraz shared the video on Facebook. He says it was given to him by a tourist. Kessler believes they did the right thing by keeping their distance.
Leave the coyote alone, because this is it doing what it does best.
After 2 decades studying the species, Kessler has learned they can adapt to many environments. Some have lived in San Francisco for generations, and this one could potentially adapt to Alcatraz.
They are survivalists and ready to push their envelopes, and that's why they continue to expand.
Time right now, 6:26. Good morning, everybody. A story we brought you as breaking news. First on the morning edition, dozens escape a burning apartment building in downtown Oakland. We'll introduce you to the man who put his own life on the line using his ladder to help people evacuate.
But first, how about a live look outside on this Tuesday morning as you get ready to grab that cup of coffee and that jacket as you head out the door. We'll be right back.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Well, look at this. Mother Nature gave us a beautiful show overnight with the northern lights. This view caught by an alert California camera not far from the Oregon border, about 3 a.m. If you have video or pictures of the northern lights, we know some of you may have gotten to elevations above the fog. Tag us on social media using the hashtag KPIX. Jess, I know you'd love to see them.
I love to see them, but I also love sleep, so there's a dilemma there. I did not see them last night. I wish I could have, though. So that was a beautiful live look, or just a look from last night as they made their way down into California. But here's the thing. As we wake up and head out the door today, we're going to notice some changes with the forecast for us here all throughout the Bay Area. Cloudier conditions on tap for us today. We're already waking up to that morning fog to the point where the National Weather Service once again has issued that dense fog advisory all the way over into Solano County. Hey, let's zoom into these numbers real fast. I want to show you some things. We're sitting in the 40s right now down into the Santa Clara Valley. We're not warming up too much more. Mostly low 60s today near San Jose, upper 50s along 101 all the way up into San Francisco and past the Golden Gate Bridge up into the North Bay as well. It's a very mild forecast for us out there throughout the next couple days, really. We're going to see partly cloudy skies from now until Thursday. Daytime highs starting to cool down a little bit heading into this weekend. I'll tell you why coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
All right, trading just opened on Wall Street with a lot of investors concerned about potential new tariffs on European countries opposing President Trump's planned takeover of Greenland. The Dow is opening in the negative in a very big way right now. We have seen the Dow, as trading started about 31 minutes ago, hit the negative 600 mark. This is a huge story. We know a lot of your 401ks and investments are tied to tech stocks here in the Bay Area. We wanted to get this on record because this is a major shortfall as trading starts on a Tuesday. Gianna?
That is tough to see. All right, new this morning, PG&E has restored power after its planned outage in San Francisco's Richmond and Sunset districts. The power was out for about 25 minutes early this morning so crews could finish repairs to an electrical substation. The substation caught fire last month, which led to the huge blackout, knocking power out to about a third of the city. Neighbors were without power for several days, leading to thousands of dollars in wasted supplies. Later this morning, neighbors in the Sunset plan to file a lawsuit against PG&E over those losses.
Well, in the East Bay this morning, more than a dozen people waking up in an emergency shelter after escaping the fire we first brought you as breaking news yesterday morning. That fire burned inside a 5-story apartment complex in downtown Oakland, sending 3 to the hospital. Buildings on 19th and Broadway, if you drive by it, you know it has more than a dozen units. Our Brad Hamilton reports many were trapped until one man happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right supplies. Watch.
I was putting up those 3 lights right there on that building.
Josh Brannigan was fixing lights on a nearby building when the flames erupted down the street.
Heard the window blow out and fire started billowing out.
This video was taken by Josh just before he heard cries for help coming from a group of residents stuck on the 3rd floor of the building by the emergency exit ladder.
Well, no one knew how to open it, so I had an extension ladder. I carried it over there, climbed up the extension ladder, and then lowered their fire emergency ladder.
Josh believes around 20 residents escaped down that ladder and into the care of emergency crews arriving on scene. But as firefighters began working on the building, Josh noticed a man stuck in a desperate situation and then shouted for help.
Hey, there's a guy right there, he can't breathe, and he's bouncing from, he had 2 windows in his in that corner. I ended up bringing a ladder right up to his window and got him out.
And this video shows the moment firefighters rescued that man. His name, Adrian Aguirre.
I'm very scared for my life.
Adrian says that he was only here for a brief visit before a return to his home in Mexico. He had several cuts on his face after breaking out 2 windows, all in an effort to breathe. His biggest concern, retrieving his ID and passport.
I stay right now in my papers, stay right now in this bedroom. I'm waiting for my items.
The building is going to be red tagged, leaving those who call this place home in limbo. Joy Mang has lived here since 2004.
I don't know what's going on. Do I have to arrange the place to stay?
As for Josh, well, he says he's just thankful to have been the right man for the moment.
You can help. Like, I was just trying to do my best, trying to save people if I could.
He shrugged off any notion of being a hero, telling us if the roles were reversed, he'd hope they'd do the same thing for him.
Well, the fire also affected a clothing store on the same block as that complex. It's called Dope Era. You might know it because you certainly know who owns it. Oakland rapper and community activist Mr. Fab. The fire itself didn't reach the store, but it did sustain heavy water damage.
Well, moving around the Bay for headlines in your community, San Francisco police are searching for the suspects in a robbery at Fisherman's Wharf. They tell us a group of juveniles on bicycles are involved. The attack happened on Beach Street at Aquatic Park just before 3 Saturday afternoon. Investigators say a man was beaten and robbed after asking a group of bike riding teens to slow down. Paramedics treated the victim for minor injuries. SFPD is asking anyone who has information to come forward. Well, a tragic accident at SFO. An airport worker died on the job Sunday night, and now investigators are looking into what went wrong. Fire crews say the ramp employee crashed on a service road around 7 p.m. and ended up pinned under a cargo pallet he was towing. He worked for the Dubai National Air Travel Agency, which says it's now cooperating with authorities. The airport confirmed the man's death and called the incident devastating. Well, if you're headed to the San Mateo County coast area, it might be more crowded than usual. Elephant seals are back at Año Nuevo State Park for breeding season. The big animals will be competing for mates and giving birth through March. More than 250,000 seals now roam the Pacific coast, marking a huge comeback from the 1920s when the population was fewer than 100. Protections from the U.S. and Mexico helped bring that population back.
Well, as people around Levi Stadium get ready to host the Super Bowl and 6 World Cup matches, the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority will ask for state money to pay for expanded transit services to try to handle those crowds. The Mercury News reports VTA wants $44 million to pay for accessibility improvements at stations, security measures, and ticket vending improvements. The agency has the money to cover the cost of additional services for the Super Bowl, but says the soccer matches bring those added needs.
Let's get a live look at BART this morning over in Daly City with some news maybe you could use for your commute. BART and Uber are rolling out a brand new partnership, so you can book short Uber trips to and from BART through stations through the BART app now. The trips must range, though, between 2 and 7 miles, and you'll also get a discount. Leaders with BART and Uber will make an announcement later today.
Well, a Morning Edition follow-up for you, an up-close look at the progress to fix the wharf in Santa Cruz after part of it plunged into the ocean in December 2024 in a huge and powerful storm. This is the work happening, caught by helicopter. Now they're cheering a reopening back in full sight. Scott Raitt spoke with business owners who are excited for the visitors to come.
People packing the Santa Cruz Wharf on Monday. The holiday and sunshine, a welcome sight for business, especially with this construction happening.
There were some initial anxieties. It impacted some parking.
Holly Siegel is a supervisor at Stagnero Brothers, this seafood spot at the end of the wharf right next to that construction.
Everybody can see it.
Holly says that the construction is having impacts on business.
There was obviously some initial noise and clamor that was occurring outside that caused people to be a little anxious. A friend of mine that I met through the restaurant come in recently who had to walk an extra 2 blocks, and that was a genuine barrier for him.
From our helicopter, you can see that chunk of the wharf still ripped apart, the wharf badly damaged by powerful waves in December of 2024. Stagnero's was shut down for 3 weeks after the collapse.
That impacted the employees a lot. The business itself definitely had a little bit of a hard time. The winter is already our slower season.
Right after that partial collapse, Santa Cruz Parks and Rec telling me that it worked with the city council to develop an ad hoc subcommittee.
That really helped us work closely with our engineers to identify these key strategies of what to rebuild.
The city telling me that it has been planning for the long term and that while the repairs are underway, the wharf is perfectly safe. The construction not stopping folks I spoke with from coming out on this holiday.
Not at all. It's as live as possible. All the stores are open. Everything's doing good.
Now all the businesses here looking forward to having the entire wharf reopened so that things can just get back to normal.
This is such a historical structure that obviously the entire community is going to want to know what the new revamped wharf is going to look like.
The project will restore about 1,100 square feet to the wharf's end.
Okay, well, from there, let's head a little bit south over towards Big Sur. That's where tourists are flooding Big Sur once again, just days after crews reopened Highway 1. Crowds filling roadside spots on Monday, and local businesses already seeing the bump. One local says, though, the increased foot traffic has its upside, but downside, too.
It's definitely gone from like 0 to 100, without a doubt, but I'm happy to see it because that means I get more hours at work, but not stoked to see it because that means all my spots are going to be blown up.
Well, the closure shut down access for months after storm damage cut off key stretches of Highway 1. Now with the roads clear, local businesses hope the rush boosts the economy in the small town. Well, time right now is 6:39. The Justice Department steps in after an anti-ICE protest disrupts a church service in Minnesota. Why federal officials now say civil rights violations may be at play.
We're keeping a close eye on Wall Street. The Dow opening down and very much down, negative 600 or more. A lot of people watching this with nerves, saying that what is happening in the world relative to President Trump using the power of tariffs to acquire Greenland is a signal that investors are a little bit nervous at this point. More in your Money Watch report straight ahead.
And here's a live look outside. Look at this gorgeous view. The colors in the sky, absolutely stunning as the sun comes up over San Francisco. Just watch your forecast right after the break.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Watching live video from our many monitors that bring us headlines from across the globe. The Justice Department says it's investigating an anti-ICE protest that interrupted a Sunday service at a Minnesota church. Demonstrators say they were there to protest a church pastor who was apparently a top official for immigration and customs enforcement. Justice Department officials say they will investigate the demonstrators for civil rights violations. Well, Spain begins 3 days of mourning after the devastating train crash in the south. The death toll has climbed to 41 as crews keep pulling bodies from the wreckage with dozens more injured. Officials say one train jumped the tracks and slammed into an oncoming train. A possible mechanic failure may be to blame, and Spanish authorities warned the death toll could rise. Well, more than half a dozen medical groups, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, are suing to reverse recent childhood vaccine changes by the CDC. Federal health officials changed vaccine schedules to limit hepatitis A, B, and meningitis vaccines to children at high risk. Flu, COVID-19, and rotavirus shots are being left up to parents to decide. The lawsuit calls the changes reckless and dangerous. Well, some good news for asthma patients. Researchers in Sweden say a simple blood test could predict asthma attacks up to 5 years in advance. The test looks for biomarkers and spots high-risk patients with 90% accuracy. Doctors hope it leads to earlier treatment and fewer emergency trips, but it's still in the testing phase. Scientists need more trials before doctors can use it.
Time now for a look at what's coming up later on CBS Mornings. Gail King joins us live from New York. Good morning, Gail. Good to see you.
Good morning, Reed. It's always good to see you. Here's what's coming up on CBS Mornings. We've got an exclusive jailhouse interview with a woman. Prosecutors in Minnesota, they are calling this woman the mastermind behind the state's largest COVID-era fraud scheme. And I'm thinking you're going to want to hear what she has to say to explain herself. Plus, very funny. This guy is hilarious. Bert Kreischer is here to talk about his new comedy series. It's called Free Bert, inspired by his own life and family. Reed, is that how you do school drop-off? Is that your look? This guy's hilarious. And it's going to be fabulous in the studio today. Why? Because some of the Fab Five from Queer Eye, they are here to talk about the 10th and final season of their Emmy Award-winning show. So we'll see you guys at 7 o'clock, a little over 15 minutes from now. Reed, something tells me that we will never see your tummy in person. Just a guess. Just a guess.
Gail, I promise to show it to you.
I should ask Gianna. Gianna, I should ask Gianna. Gianna, have you ever seen Reed's tummy in person?
No,
have you ever
Gail,
seen Reed's tummy in person?
I cannot tell a lie. I have
Careful.
not seen Reed's tummy in person.
Okay.
These are things
Just
we keep
checking.
in private,
Just checking.
Gail. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you.
All right.
I like the necklace, by the way.
I do too.
All the way to her belly button. Now is your chance to live like royalty. I'm like covering my stomach now from a long time ago. Royalty.
Oh, I know. I'll take it. Historical dramas and social media are fueling a regal travel trend. Thousands of European castles now function as hotels, so it's possible. On today's Travel Tuesday, Wendy Gillette shows us what it's like to stay inside these stone walls.
Trevor swoops in from another era as part of a falconry experience at Dromoland Castle Hotel near Shannon, Ireland.
A lot of people love the fairy tale of staying in a castle, and it's the romance behind it.
The hotel goes all out for the holidays, providing creature comforts like colorful cocktails, a golf course, and spa, but also gives guests a glimpse of the castle's 15th century heritage, with lineage dating back to Ireland's last High King, Brian Boru. Americans curious about their own Irish heritage can work with the hotel's resident genealogist.
They really feel their connection. It's a very emotional journey for them, and it's a very meaningful journey because they might be the only people that have come back in 200, almost 200 years.
The Kellys from New Jersey are tracing their roots ahead of their son's marriage at Dromoland this May. One side of the family extends back to Brian.
The exploration is a gift. It's a gift that I really want to give them, especially my son on his wedding day.
Travelers can find more castles to stay in all over Europe. This is the wine cellar at Castel Hurtenberg in Bolzano, Italy, which is more than 500 years old.
What we think makes it special is the fusion of the historical aspect of the castle itself with a modern touch.
That translates into modern art, a gourmet restaurant featuring freshly made pasta with truffle shavings, cooking classes, and a cozy spa at a hotel with only 24 rooms, one of those where we stayed for a special rate.
Winters get really cold here, so we think that the spa gives you a moment to relax and to calm down after a long day of exploring and adventure.
And in a castle, the adventures of the past are always close at hand.
Here's Gianna singing Castle on a Cloud.
God, I literally was going to come back with like, I'm in a castle on a cloud.
You really were?
I was like, first thing that pops in my head from that song from Les
Theater
Mis.
people.
Sing it on. Yes. I mean, who doesn't want to live in a castle on a cloud?
I
or
just
maybe
don't
on the
wanna pay
ground?
for it.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's a lot more affordable than we thought.
Yeah. Name some other castles in San Francisco Bay Area.
Castles?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Grace Cathedral, if we have a live picture of that, it
that's
looks
so
like
pretty.
a castle. But
It
I think
does.
that's the house of the Lord. I don't think he's saying move on in, anybody.
Bring your toothbrush. I don't know. Maybe pretty
And
welcome
when
out
the
there.
fog comes in, it's a castle in the cloud. Where's the Napa Castle?
There are some beautiful vineyards, though, that are very castle-like.
There's a castle vineyard up in Napa. I have to think the name of it. It literally says the word castle in the name. I have to just think of the rest of the name. All right, here's what's happening for us. Let's start up in Napa, actually. As we wake up and head outside this morning, 42 degrees over into Napa, 44 into Vallejo. Hey, Vallejo, all the way over into the Carquinez Strait in the Delta. You guys are dealing with some dense fog right now. The Carquinez Strait is actually filled with that dense fog advisory, similar to our friends over into the Sacramento Valley right now. Tule fog making its way into some parts of the Bay Area, meaning visibility is kind of low right now at the surface level, while others of us, which, by the way, if you take a live look behind me from our rooftop here at KPIX, clear skies, clear conditions at the bridge all the way from Oakland over into San Francisco right now. So some of us aren't really influenced by that. Now, here's our daytime highs into this afternoon. Yesterday, we were up into close to the 70s, actually, all the way down into San Jose. Today, we're into the low 60s. So we're noticing a cooling trend, not only down there, but widespread throughout the Bay Area. We were also in the upper 60s along the coast. Not the case now, all the way down to the low 60s near Half Moon Bay. Still a great day to get out there and get some fresh air, maybe head out into the water. If you're brave, I don't think I could do that. Here's what's happening, though, as we head outside today when it comes to the winds. Light winds for the most part throughout most of the Bay Area, excluding Oakland and San Francisco. Gusty conditions there continuing to push offshore. Those offshore winds start to die down into the afternoon and evening hours tonight. But one thing I want to talk about, when we see gustier winds, especially in the Bay Valleys, for example, the North Bay, the East Bay Valleys, usually that kind of helps when it comes to breaking apart air quality. Well, today the air quality is in that moderate to unhealthy category, widespread throughout the Bay Area. And we continue to keep a close eye on that because this is similar conditions to what we've been dealing with just this past week. Now, unlike last week, we're going to see some cloudier skies right around the corner, starting this afternoon, lasting into Wednesday and Thursday's forecast, even Friday, with daytime highs starting to cool down just a little bit. Yesterday, the day before, we were in the upper 60s in the Santa Clara Valley and some of our North Bay areas. Now we're starting to all see that cool down as we dive into this weekend's forecast everywhere throughout the Bay. And as we head into next week, still not a drop of rain in sight, but we will notice some cloudier conditions, keeping us nice and cool here in the Bay Area. I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit. For now, back to you.
All right, let's talk about the roadways. Look at this, bumper to bumper traffic as you make that way out of the Altamont Pass area, heading westbound 580 from 205. Little bit of fog out there too, so be careful if you're working your way through there, but very busy this morning. Those travel times sitting at about an hour or two to go from 205 to 680 on westbound 580. We are seeing those hot spots thicken up too, like westbound Highway 4 out of Antioch all the way to Hercules. That'll take you almost an hour as well. And once you get on Highway 4, if you're making your way to the Maze via 80, that'll take you about 30 minutes. To get to the Bay Bridge, you're going to be tapping those brake lights once again in this area as well. So overall, not a lot of crashes that are slowing you down, but certainly the usual stuff, 880, South 680, coming out of the South Bay too. We're seeing some brake lights on 101 and busy on the San Mateo Bridge. That's a look at your morning commute. Time right now is 6:52. Coming up, do you get a little anxious going to the dentist? We'll show you how a Bay Area dental office is helping patients relax with the help of a furry friend.
Plus, as we see a break in the David and Victoria Beckham family overnight, how do you feel about airing family business on the socials? Sound off on social, and you might see your opinions right here on the Morning Edition, right there on X. You can see, well, 13 of you have voted so far saying no. Following developing news this morning in our Money Watch report, we're taking a live look at the big board this morning. Why? Because the Dow is down substantially this morning. Stocks tumbling as President Trump escalates his push to buy Greenland and threatens sweeping new tariffs on U.S. allies. Mr. Trump warned imports from 8 NATO nations will face rising tariffs unless they back a U.S. purchase of Greenland. Separately, Trump also threatened 200% duties on French wine and champagne after that country's president, Emmanuel Macron, said he was unwilling to join Trump's so-called Board of Peace that would be used to oversee Gaza. So you're seeing right there on the stock market, investors showing they are very uneasy with the way President Trump is handling these economic and international matters. On Wall Street, the big question today is, could it be a change in the way traders do business? The New York Stock Exchange is developing a digital platform that would allow investors to trade digital tokens around the clock. Now, if it meets regulatory scrutiny, the platform could support trading of tokenized versions of company shares. Investors would get instant settlement of transactions, orders sized in dollar amounts, and stablecoin-based funding. A year into President Trump's second term, new CBS News numbers show dissatisfaction with his handling of the economy. 74% say the president is not focused enough on lowering prices. Only 23% say he's focused the right amount. 74% say their income is not keeping up with inflation. You know, for many, a trip to the dentist can be a nerve-wracking experience.
Like me.
Yeah.
But our Itai Hod takes us to Lafayette, where therapy dogs help ease dental anxiety.
Over the years, Dr. Rachel Forer
Good morning.
has found plenty of ways to take the sting out of going to the dentist. Laughing gas, numbing agents, all the modern fixes designed to manage pain.
Going to the dentist can be a very fight or flight reaction.
But even with all the medical advances, fear still had a way of creeping in.
You doing okay?
Until Dr. Four realized the simplest solution was right there all along. It's all natural and comes with 4 legs and a tail. Meet Pearl, a 5-year-old therapy dog who climbs into your lap and takes a bite out of anxiety.
I'm guessing when you were at dental school, you weren't anticipating this.
No, I wasn't.
Therapy dogs have been comforting people for years in hospital wards, schools, and now dental offices. Today, Pearl is here for 13-year-old Lucy, who's getting 3 teeth pulled.
Should we expect to see more therapy dogs at dentist offices?
Absolutely.
Danielle Ellington, an associate professor at Loma Linda University's School of Dentistry, co-authored a study on therapy dogs in dental offices. She says it's more than just fluff.
Getting laughing gas or nitrous oxide, we noticed that those numbers went down because really what the dentist is treating in those situations is anxiety.
There are some things to consider, including cleanliness, allergies, and the well-being of the dogs. Pearl is a Samoyed, a breed that's considered hypoallergenic and is formally trained. For Lucy, it was just what the doctor ordered.
Feeling better?
All 3 teeth were extracted in one visit.
Feels really good.
Because sometimes a canine in your lap might just be the best way to fix the canines in your mouth.
Good girl.
Well, here's the good news. There's no extra charge for Pearl, but you do have to book her in advance. So make the appointment, ask for Pearl to come visit, and then maybe that's a little easier. I love this idea. Little fur to help your fear.
Yeah, I just need a dog that doesn't shed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want hair in my mouth.
Just get the lint.
By the way, who knew we had canines in our own mouths? I gotta Google that.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the canine tooth?
Is there such a thing as a canine tooth in my mouth?
Yes, there is. You didn't know that?
Now I know why my sister said you have dog breath.
Oh.
Got it.
Well, coming up on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12.
Neighbors in Marin County fighting back against new housing in their own backyard. How they came together to dig out money out of their own wallets to save the piece of land from developers.
And a new wave of people are signing up for GLP-1 weight loss drugs as the pill version of the medication hits the shelves. We're going to tell you what you need to know if you're planning on trying it out.
Taking a live look outside. Do you agree with airing family dirty laundry on social media? Join us, Pix Plus 44 Cable 12.